Welcome to our Amud Yomi Shiur. We are learning today Daf Mem Amud Aleph in Maseches Kiddushin. We're about to finish the first and very, very long parak of Kiddushin, the first parak, first chapter of Maseches Kiddushin. And we are learning about mitzvahs and averos. May this shiur be zchus for all the people who are captured. They should come home very, very soon, safe and sound. The soldiers as well, everybody should be back home. Mashiach should be here. The Gemara is asking the following question in Daf Lametes Amud Beis. Today's Amud is Mem Amud Aleph, but we are still in Lametes Amud Beis towards the bottom of the page. Here is Le'ilu Nishmas of Imayr Menachem Ben Akiva, Ruth Bas Shalom, Sor Bas Moshe, Viva Bas Moshe. Asks the Gemara asks the following question. Rami Rav Tuvi bar Rav Kisna l'Rove. Rav Tuvi bar Kisna asked Rove the following question. It says in our Mishnah, the Mishnah that we saw, the top of the page, it says Tnan. Whoever performs, whoever fulfills one mitzvah, actively, he does the mitzvah, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu will grant him good life. Also in loy, also loy. The Gemara infers from that also only if the person actually committed the mitzvah, he did the mitzvah, he performed it, then he gets schar, he gets the reward. Otherwise, no. If the person sat at home, didn't do anything, didn't do any mitzvah in particular, it doesn't get schar. Uramini. And yet we see a brisa that says the other way around. The brisa says otherwise. It says in the brisa, Yoshav veloy ovar avera. The person was sitting and passively just refrained from doing an avera. He didn't do an avera. Mitzvah. He gets the same sachar, the same reward, as if he performed the mitzvah. So the question is, when a person pashut doesn't do an avera, any second of the day in which a person doesn't do anything wrong, does he get sachar or doesn't get sachar? Seems to be a contradiction. Answers the Gemara, Omar lay. So now Rava answered the question, and he said there's a difference. Hossam, over there, when he does get sachar, when a person had a dvar avera, the person had the potential to sin. The person was close to sinning. He had the dvar avera, the sinful act was something he was about to do, and he refrained and he held himself back and he didn't do it. Nitzal himeno. He was saved from it because he wanted to save himself from that. Then this is the biggest, says Rashi, ein mitzvah yesera mizu. This is the biggest mitzvah that there is to overcome the Yetzer Hara. So we're going to see three stories now that exemplify this concept. There was once a story about Rabbi Chanina bar Popi, one of the Amiroim. There was a matronisa. A matronisa was a Roman woman of importance, a powerful woman. And that woman, she was tovah, she wanted to sin with him. She demanded, she asked him, I want to sin with you. Omar Milsan, he didn't know what to do. You can't tell a matronisa, get lost, because she could kill you. She could execute you. She has her connections high up in the Roman government. So he said something, Umali nafshe shichna v'kiva, some kind of shemas kedoshim, some kind of lacha. She said something, and then his body became full of shchin and kiva, full of boils and ulcers. So he looked very ugly and obviously not so attractive to her anymore. Of the he milsa ve'itzi. So she also said something, she did something, some kind of witchcraft. Ve'itzi, now he got better. She wanted him in the original form. So she also did something, some kind of witchcraft, to make sure he's back to his old self. Now he didn't know what to do at that point. Orak, so he ran away. It didn't work, the kishufim anymore. Orak, he ran away. Tosha bahu beibani. He hid himself. Tosha is to hide. He hid himself in that bathhouse, in a public bathhouse, which apparently was very, very much of a haunted house. It was haunted by bad spirits, by demons. Even if two people would have gone there, even during the day, because two people together, usually the shadim do not attack them. And during the day, they're less active than by night. So even by daytime, even with two people, havu mitzvaki. The place was so seriously all demoned up that even if two people would have gone there in the middle of the day, they'd been harmed. And yet he went there. He felt this was pikuach nefesh, so he risked himself, he risked his life, and actually went to that place to hide from the goita. L'mocha omer leRabbanon, the day after, the following day, the morning after, Rabbanon asked him, his friends, the other Rabbanim, asked him, Man natrach, who guarded you? How come you're still alive? We see you coming out of that bathhouse, safe and sound. Well, what's your story? Omer lehu, so he told them, Shnei nosei kesar shamruni kol halayla. The two guards, the nosei kesar, the people who carry Caesar, or the personal bodyguards of Caesar, they guarded me all night long. They looked after me. Wow. Obviously, these were some kind of malachim in the shape of the Caesar's bodyguards. Omrulei, so the Chachamim replied and said, Shema dvar erva bali yodcha v'nitzalta imenu. Maybe, perhaps, there was some kind of dvar erva. There was a nisoyon, he had a test in the realm of tznius, of erva, and you were saved from it. That's why Akadosh Baruch Hu did a nace for you. Akadosh Baruch Hu performed a nace for you because you broke your teva. Hashem changes the teva for you, the tnina. It says this here in a braysa. Kol abot dvar erva liyodoi v'nitzal imenu. Whoever faces a dvar erva, an historian in the area, the very difficult area of erva, and the person is saved from it, oisin loy nace. Akadosh Baruch Hu will create a nace for him, and these people are called giborei koyach. Oisei dvoroi. Yeah, Giborei Koyach. In other words, the people who overcome the Yetzer, the Giborei Koyach, they actually are, the people are Oisei dvoroi. They keep the words of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Shmoya B'kol dvoroi. The Shmoya B'kol dvoroi, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu creates, changes Teva, so the Teva, the nature, should listen to Hashem and be changed for the Gibor Koach. Yeah, Kadosh Baruch Hu, everyone listens to Kadosh Baruch Hu. If you listen to Kadosh Baruch Hu, he will make nature listen to you. Kigoin, another explanation for that, another example. Kigon, Rabbi Tzadik v'chaverov, Rabbi Tzadik and his friends, Rabbi Tzadik and people of his high level, they had similar stories of being saved from an avera, and then an ace happened. Rabbi Tzadik, what's his story? Rabbi Tzadik tvate ahi matronisa. Rabbi Tzadik, there was again same story, a matronisa, a Roman, a noble's woman, she demanded that he sins with her. She wanted him. Omar lo, cholish li liboy. He tried diplomacy. He said, cholish li liboy. I'm sorry, I can't. My heart is weak. I can't function. I can't sin with you. Veloy matzina, just can't. Is there something for me to eat? Omar lei, so she told him, they were in her house. Omar lei, so she told him, ikadover tome. I have something treif, like some kind of treif meat, maybe chazir. I have some kind, Rashi says it was a tzli. I have something that I can roast for you, but it's not kosher for you Jewish people. Amar lo, so he told her, my nafkamina, what can I learn from here? What can I learn from this story? That the only meichel, the only food you have at home is something tome, something non-kosher. That could teach me a lesson, the ovid ha, ochul ha. Whoever sins with a non-Jewish woman will end up eating treif, because sinning with a non-Jewish woman is halachically, if people don't know about it, it's a very severe thing. It's a very, very severe thing. But apparently, it's not as halachically bad as eating dover tame, because it's not good for hestia. The ikar isur of being with the goita is only if 10 people know about it. But if it's done secretly, it's extremely bad. It's not something anybody should contemplate doing, but it's not as bad as eating the dover tame. So he's saying basically, look, if I end up sinning with you, I'll end up eating the Talmudic thing. But okay, that's where I'm holding. I'm going to sin with you and have the chazir at the same time. So what did she do? She went along with it. Shogras tanura. She then lit the oven. Yeah, the oven was now hot. And kaman chale, she placed in the oven the tzli, the roast. Solik v'yosif v'gavei. He jumped in and he went inside the oven to sit in the scorching, boiling hot oven to burn himself. Omerle, my high. So she asked him, what's going on? Well, what are you doing here? Why are you jumping into the oven? And they're conversing. Yeah, he's doing okay. Omer lo, he told her, the ovid ha, nofil beha. Whoever using the same tone of voice he used before, the same wavelength, he said, the ovid ha, nofil beha. whoever sins with you would fall eventually in Gehenna. So I might as well burn myself in this world because I'm going to burn in the world to come. So she told him, oh, yadi kuli hai lo tziarticha. If I knew that you care about it so much, had I known that you're so, disturbed by doing such a thing, I wouldn't have bothered you. So he was saved from that third story of Kahana. Rav Kahana v'Kamaz bin Dikuli. Rav Kahana, Kamaz bin Dikuli, his profession, the way he got some parnasa was by selling small baskets for women. Baskets in which they're put their sewing stuff, their spinning things. Yeah, small baskets for women. He used to sell it. So because he had to deal with women, again, a matronisa came and she wanted to sin with Rav Kahana. Amarlo, again, he's trying to buy time. Ezil ikshit nafshoi. I'm going to go and groom myself up. I'm going to make myself all nice and spiffy and good looking. So wait for me over here. Stolik, he did not go to beautify himself. He went up. He went from the rooftop and actually jumped off the roof, literally, into the ground. Because it says in halacha that if a person faces a situation of sin that it cannot avoid, people force him to sin, one option is to commit suicide, like the famous story with the 93 girls in the Holocaust. They committed suicide and had some poisoned themselves to death in order not to sin with the Nazis. So that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to jump and actually started the jump from the roof onto the ground. Also, Novi came, Kable. Novi came, flying in and accepted him in his arms. He took him in his arms and saved him from the fall, saved his life. Omerle, Novi was not so happy about what happened. Novi told him, Atrachtan alba meo palsi. You caused me a tircha. You made me work hard. You made me fly or run, whatever, 400 parsois. Happens to be when I got the call to help you, I was 400 parsois away from here. That's a big tircha. Omer alei, and this is a bit of a taina. Yeah, there's a hidden claim against Rav Kahana. Why did you get to that situation? Because l'choira, yeah, why are you dealing with women's issues, with women's with women merchandise? Omer lei, so says Rav Kahana, you have a taina on me. Mi goram li. You know what caused this to me, to be in such a situation that I have to deal with women and sell them stuff? Lav and yusa. Isn't it my poverty? Because I'm so poor, happens to be the only way I can bring some bread, home is by selling the baskets. Yov l'shifa the dinori. Novi brought him as a gift a chest of golden coins. Such an ace, Novi saved his life. Novi got him a chest of golden coins to support him for the rest of his life. And that was all because he overcame his Yetzer Hara. 2 dots. We are now in the third, or actually fourth line, from the fourth wide line. Another question now. Now it's Rava who's asking Rav Nachman the following question. Tanan, we saw in the Mishnah, a Mishnah at the beginning of Peah, a Mishnah that we say every morning, a Mishnah that we saw quoted before. Tanan, what does it say in the Mishnah? These are the mitzvahs that when a person performs these mitzvahs, he eats the fruit in Olam Hazeh. In other words, the fruit, the small gains he gets in Olam Hazeh, he gets some kind of sachar, of reward, the lesser reward he gets in this world. The principle, the main gain, the main profit, the principle of these fruit, he maintains and he gets it in Olam Haba. What are these mitzvahs? These are the mitzvahs that you get sachar in both Olam Hazeh and in Olam Haba. What are these mitzvahs? Kibud av v'ein, honoring one's father and mother. These things get you good life in this world and in the world to come. V'gmilus chasodim. There is a version, it's true, somebody's mentioning here, Achnasas Kala. Achnasas Kala is not mentioned in this Mishnah. It is mentioned in other versions. This is the shorter version. Gmilus chasodim, helping people in all kinds of ways. Bringing peace between man and his friend, to mediate, to bridge the gap between people, bringing peace between people. The Talmud Torah keneged kulam. Talmud Torah, that is the most important mitzvah by far. It says it in every sefer that you couldn't pick up. It would tell you Talmud Torah, the most important mitzvah. So these mitzvahs, they are the mitzvahs that grant you sachar in both Olam Hazeh, and the bigger sachar, the keren, remains in Olam Haba. And we're going to bring sources now to each and every one. The kibud of V'ein Ksiv, regarding honoring one's parents, it says in the second luchos, the one that we read in Parshas V'eschanon, it says, Leman yarichun yamecha, uleman yitav loch. It says both things. Hashem will give you long life, and yitav lach. Arichus yomim, the real Arichus yomim is in Olam Haba. That's the real Olam Shekulo Tov, the world of eternity. And yitav loch, and it's also, and Hashem will give you, will grant you, Tov in both worlds. The truth is, Yitav lecha b'chayei yarichun yamecha l'olam haba. Yes, yeah, Rashi says, Yarichun yamecha olam haba, and you'll have it good also in this world. The Gmilos Chasodim, where do we see Gmilos Chasodim being also a source for the double wemo, double sachar? It says, Roidev tzedakah v'chesed. Yeah, it says in Mishlei, Roidev tzedakah v'chesed, the person who pursues, who's always looking to do tzedakah and chesed, even tzachayim tzedakah v'kovod, to find life. The real life is in Olam Haba. That's the real eternal life. And also tzedakah v'kovod, find also money and respect, dignity in this world, in Olam Hazeh. U'ba'avos shalom ksiv. So now we see about kibud avim, we saw gmilas chasodim, we see. Now what about bringing peace? How do you know that peacemaking actually brings you both Olam Hazeh and Olam Haba reward? It says, Bakesh shalom v'rodfehu. Yeah, you should always look, search for peace and pursue it. Pursue the peace. Yeah, follow and search for peace. It doesn't say anything about having good and long life. True. However, that pasuk, the pasuk in Tehillim, Sur Merava Setoiv, Bokesh shalom v'rodfehu, says Rabbi Bo, there's Gzera Shova. Asya redifa, redifa. We learn the word redifa written here and written there, be Gzera Shova. What does that mean? Regarding looking for peace and searching and trying to create peace, we see the word rodfeu, you should pursue and always search for peace. Regarding milos chasadim, it says, as we just saw, roidef tzedakah v'chesed, roidef, redifa, redifa, it's the same verb, lirdoif, to chase, to pursue. Both tzedakah v'chesed that's given by milos chasadim, they also apply to making peace between people. Talmud Torah. It says regarding Talmud Torah, it says this is your life. It's your chaim, your life, your eternal life. And orech yamecha in this world and in the world to come. Again, chaim and orech yom. In both worlds, you get sachar for learning Torah. And it's a pasuk in Dvorim. Okay? Back the Gemara. Fine. We found good sources for everything. Back the Gemara. Wait a second. B'shiluach haken namiksiv. B'shiluach haken. It also says. It says leman yitav loch v'arach tayomim. It says by shiluach haken, as we saw in the previous Amud. Shiluach haken, when you shoo away the mother in order to take the children. Also, the Torah promises us, black and white, hatova, you'll have it good, and the richus yamim, both in this world and the world to come. Litni namiha. So why does the Mishnah miss it? Why does the Mishnah over there in Peah not mention also the shiluach haken is a source for Paris in this world, and the Karen stays for the world to come? Answers the Gemara, Tana v'Shiur. Enochinami Tana v'Shiur. The Tana could have mentioned it. It's also in the list conceptually. Shiur. We have this concept of Tana v'Shiur. Sometimes the Tana leaves out of the list 2 items. Most of the list is written, but 2 or more items are not mentioned. The Gemara says in Bavakama around of it will become in the 3rd parak, I think, 4th parak, Shor Shanogach. It says, V'chitan ruch levelezi. Latan is not a merchant that keeps telling you all different examples. He gives you a few examples and that's enough. So really, Shiluach haken should have been in the list. It's in the list. Breg the Gemara, no. Tana, elu dvorim, v'atamar, Tana v'Shiur. The Mishnah uses a very exclusive loshon of elu dvorim. These are the things that have that double schar in Olam Hazeh and Olam Haba. And you telling me these are just examples? No, it doesn't say yesh dvorim, elu dvorim. These are the things that seems to exclude other things. So what are you going to say? Now Rava himself answers his own question. Says Rava, Rav Idi Asberali. Ravidi explained it to me. How did he explain it? It says as follows. And we're going to ask another question, and that question will, when we answer this one, we'll get both questions answered. It says, Imru Tzadik ki toiv, ki prima alaleim yochelu. Yeah, tell the tzaddik is good, the tzaddik which is good, the good tzaddik, prima alaleim yochelu, he would eat the fruit of his good deeds. Correct the brisa, v'chiyesh tzaddik toiv, v'yesh tzaddik she'eno toiv. Is there a tzaddik that's good and tzaddik that's not good? I thought tzaddik is always good. Tzaddik is super good. What do you mean tzaddik that's good? Are you telling me there's tzaddik that's not good? Ela must be, yes, there are different levels of tzidkus. Not all tzaddikim are the same. There are different levels. Toiv l'shamayim ve'labriyos zeu tzaddik toiv. A person who's good, yeah, tzigot and tzalait. No, it's tzalait. HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves somebody who's good to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Towards HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he keeps the mitzvahs, ben odom lamokoim, tefillin, tzitzis, kashrus, everything. And he's also good to his fellow people, his fellow Jews. That's tzedakah, ben odom lachaveroi. That's a good tzaddik. And what does that have to do with us? That's the tzaddik that eats in this world, prim alalehem. Tzaddik, which is toiv, eats the prim alalehem. He eats the fruit of his good deeds right now in olam hazeh. As opposed to who? In other words, a person may be a tzaddik, because a tzaddik at the end of the day, we saw in the previous Amud, is a person who tipped the scales the right way. He finishes his life with 60, 70, like a child in school in a test. He got 70, 80, very good. Most of his life, he has more mitzvahs than averos. He's heading in the right direction. But unfortunately, when it comes to brios, he's not good to other people. He's not trying to do chesed, not trying to care about others, doesn't care about the environment, the human environment around him, society, doesn't care, it doesn't interest him. He wants to be all the time, his tefillin, his tzitzis, his own thing, his chumras, his kashrus, very nice. He's not necessarily good to other people. He's a tzaddik, he's not a good tzaddik. And such a person, he would not get sachar in olam hazeh. In other words, the Bryce is telling you something very, very simple. A person who wants to get sachar in olam hazeh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu only gives you the peros, the sachar in this world for ben odom la chaveroi. And all these things, which is not mentioned, but same idea, all these things are ben odom la chaveroi. That's why you get sachar right here, as opposed to ben odom la mokom, which we'll get in olam haba. And I'll say again what I said yesterday. The Rebbe Elchanan Wasserman says, what about Talmud Torah Keneged Kulam? When a person sits in the corner, huddled in his corner, learning Torah, why is he helping anybody? That's not chesed, says Rebbe Elchanan Wasserman, chas v'sholom. And people say it before Rebbe Elchanan, learning Torah is what makes the world go around. Without Torah, the whole world would just go, poof. No world, finished, Gamarnu. Yeah, the biggest chesed one can do is to maintain the existence of the world through learning Torah. Keneged kulam, more than any other chesed. Now, seemingly, we apply the same idea the other way around now. Oy la roshara, the next pasuk there is the same pasuk. The following pasuk talks about Rasha, about the bad person. Oy la Rasha ra ki gmul yodav yaseloi. The Rasha who is bad, the Rasha that happens to be a bad guy, gmul yodav yaseloi. Hashem will do to him. Gmul yodav, Hashem will pay him back. Gmul, the reward, which is really punishment for what he did. And again, the same question is here. It begs the question. What do you mean? Is there a Rasha that's bad? Is there a Rasha that's good? I thought Rasha means super bad. Ela, same concept, the other way around. A person who's bad towards both HaKadosh Baruch Hu and his fellow Jews and fellow people is bad. It's chazir and doesn't put tefillin and he's mezane and he's v'chule and also he's ra'al he's nasty and he's annoying and he's insulting. Bekitzer, he's all around bad in all directions. He's Rosh Hara, and he will get his sachar, he'll get his punishment in this world already. As we said a few times, Chofetz Chaim says that people who harm and who hurt other people emotionally, financially in this world, they will be punished in this world, unless they ask for mechila. But the punishment for ben adam l'chaveroi is in this world, and this is what we see right here. A person may be a very, very nice person towards others, but he is Ra l'shamayim, doesn't keep mitzvahs. Rashi brings you all kinds of examples: eating treif, snus, chulei. that Rasha was good to other people, he may get a bit of schar too. But the oynish for not fulfilling the benodam lamalkim, that only comes in olam haba. Now, after the two dots, we're going to see now a few applications to a very famous idea of we're down to here. We always know that mitzvahs count more than averos, which means obviously mitzvahs and averos are not in the same radar, not in the same wavelength, not in the same frame. But mitzvahs in their own realm, in their turf, mitzvahs are much more valuable than averos are in the negative side. The Tomer Dvar says that mitzvahs go all the way up to kisakov, but averos don't. The averos, as much as they're mekalkel and destroy, their power of destruction is not as strong as the positive power of mitzvahs. And we're going to see a few applications of that right now. Be'ezras Hashem. Azchus, a person has azchus, a person has merit, good deeds, a person did something good. Yesh la keren ve'yesh la peros. The zchus has the schar, the real schar, that stays with the person towards olam haba, and also has the fruit that he may eat from that in olam hazeh. Shenema. It says imru tzadik kitov. What did we say a minute ago? Iprim alaleihem yochelu. Avera, on the other hand, yesh la keren ve'en la peros. Avera has keren and has no peros. The Avera has the principle is there waiting for you to get the punishment in olam haba, but has no fruit in olam hazeh. In other words, the Avera has no effect. You don't get punished in olam hazeh as any extra thing. It's not just also about olam hazeh and olam haba. It's also about the fact that, as I said this morning, the mitzvahs are like a tree. The tree, you plant a tree and then you have apples growing for tens, if not hundreds of years. A mitzvah has this exponential growth of more and more and more zuchusim and schar that come all the time, before, after the death, the grandchildren, forever, as we know, for 500 generations. While the Avera is not like a tree, it's like a candy stand. It's there, you finish it, that's it. Nothing stays. Shenemar, oila Rasha ra, it says Rasha ra, it doesn't say peros. The Rasha, as bad as it is, and it may get some kind of punishment, extra punishment, there's an end to it. The Ra is limited. The Kodesh Baruch is all toiv and is all positive. Ra is limitation. By definition, Derech Hashem says Ra is limitation. There is a pasuk. The Gemara is now challenging that. It says they should eat the pre-darkom, the fruit of the bad way, when Rishonim gather together, it's called the Moatzah, and Yisbol, they will be satisfied with the bad fruit. So you see that some Averas do have the bare bad fruit. Answers the Gemara, depends. Avera shoysa peiros, yesh la peiros. Avera, that by nature, so to speak, everyone can understand that Avera is an Avera that creates a big impact. It has fruit, which means the Avera, Rashi gives a very, very good example. A Talmud Chacham sins in public. Everybody knows that he sinned. That creates terrible chilul Hashem. People go off the derech. People learn from him. That has peros. Obviously, if the Rasha did something so bad, person wrote a sefer of kfira. Everybody who reads it is affected. He gets punished again and again and again, and it's exponential. Which means if the Avera is an Avera, that doesn't affect anybody. A person went to a dark room and he wore shatnez. He wanted to wear some fancy suit, shatnez, he wore it, he took it off. Nobody knew, nobody saw, doesn't affect anybody. That Avera is limited and therefore has no peros. He'll be punished for that 5 minutes of wearing the shatnez. It's going to start there and end there. So what about the mitzvah? Now, says the Maharsha says, before we continue, by mitzvahs, it's not like that. Even a mitzvah that seemingly has no teva dika effect, the mitzvah has no effect of the person went to the dark room and put on tefillin with a lot of kavanah. Nobody saw, nobody cared. It's between him and Hashem. Yes, that mitzvah, although seemingly is not something social that has the ripple effect, still that mitzvah has great, tremendous effect for the whole life, again and again and again and again, with more and more sachar. Another difference between good and bad, machshava, thought. If you plan to do a mitzvah or plan to do an avera, sorry, it's not the same. Machshava toiva mitzarfa lemaisa. Machshava toiva Kadosh Baruch Hu mitzarfa lemaisa, which has a few ramifications, as we're going to see now. Kadosh Baruch Hu joins it to maisa, as we're going to see, even if the person did not actually act upon the machshava, the mere will, who want to do something good. That's mitzaref. HaKadosh Baruch Hu considers it as if it was a good deed. Shenemar. Az nidbu yirei Hashem ishel re'eu. The yirei Hashem, the people who fear Hashem, they will be nidbar. They will get together to create something good. Ishel re'eu, one to his friend. Vayakshev Hashem vayishma. Hashem listens when the tzaddikim get together. Because of Sefer Zikaron Lefonov, he writes, everything is written in the Sefer of the Zikaron of Hashem's memory. Lira Hashem ulchoish ve'shmoi. Oh, utchoish ve'shmoi. Those who think of Hashem's name. What does it mean? Ma'il chosh ve'shmoi. V'avasi afilu chisha v'odem lasos mitzvah. A person planned to perform a mitzvah, to fulfill a mitzvah. V'nenas v'lo yaso. And he was forced and he didn't do it. He really, really wanted to do it. He was forced, he was out of his control and he did not do the mitzvah. Hashem considers it as if he did the mitzvah. Yeah, the machshava alone, with the real will, it just happened by fluke. He didn't manage. Hashem considers it as if he did the mitzvah. Machshava ra, on the other hand, a machshava ra, bad thought, meaning the person is planning on doing an avera, and a Kadosh Baruch Hu mitzarfa l'maisa. Hashem does not connect a thought to do a dvar avera with the dvar avera, as long as he didn't do the dvar avera. If he did not act upon what he wanted to do, he had terrible plans to murder someone, I don't know, something worse, to eat chazer, to do the worst thing, to marry a goiter, nothing happened. Shene'emar, oven im reisi belibi, lo yishma Hashem. If I saw evil in my heart, Hashem doesn't listen. Hashem turns a blind eye, closes his ears. He doesn't see the bad machshavas, the bad planning. A person plans to do bad. As long as he didn't do it, it didn't happen. It does say in the Novi, I will bring upon them, yeah, it says in Yirmiyahu, I'll bring upon this nation the bad things, the fruit of their thoughts, meaning they were planning to do bad, and I will punish them for that. What's going on? And says the Gemara, machshava shoyis pri HaKadosh Baruch Hu mitzarfa l'maisa. Machshava she'en b'pri en HaKadosh Baruch Hu mitzarfa l'maisa. Which means, if the person thought of doing something bad and fulfilled it, and actually went along and actualized what he wanted to do, then Hashem will punish him double for the thought and for the maisa, for the deed. But as long as he did not have fruit, his thought did not bear fruit, did not come to fruition, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't connect it to the maisa, and it's all good. Another question. It says that Beis Yisrael caught in their heart bad thoughts, and Hashem punishes them for that. And there it doesn't say pri. It doesn't say the word pri. That seems to be that the machshava actually took place and became practical. No. So, and yet you see that Hashem does care about it and punishes. That's written regarding one mitzvah in which the thought makes a difference, and that is avodas kochovim. Why is avodas kochovim worse than anything else? It says chamur avodas kochovim shekol hakofer ba kemoed b'chol haTorah kula, which means avodas kochovim is all about belief. Avodas kochovim, if I plan to eat chazi, or I plan to eat cheeseburger, or I plan to chalila kill or steal or murder, I don't know what, all these things I plan to wear the shatnez is just a plan. Some shtus came to his mind. But when the person wants to be Oved Avodah Zarah, means he believes in it. He's planning in 5 minutes or 5 hours to take the bus to the Avodah Zarah center and bow down to the getchke, to the golden sculpture. Then what? You see that that person believes in the Avodah Zarah, some extent to some level. Oh, belief. Everything is about belief. A person who denies Avodah Zarah and therefore accepts Malchus Hashem. Yeah, because in the past there was no such thing as atheism. It's a new idiocy that came to the world in the past few hundred years. If you don't believe in Avodah Zarah, you believe the world came from somewhere, from Kadosh Baruch Hu. You accept Malchus Hashem, it's as if you accepted everything else. The Netziv says that we see that some people don't they believe in Hashem, they don't keep the mitzvahs, unless we know that they're mazid, we assume they're shagig. He believes in Hashem, is a nice traditional person, he's good, traditional. He doesn't know it's making mistake. He doesn't know how important that is to Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Conceptually, if he believes in Hashem, mistame, he would like to do all other mitzvahs as well. So because of a desire to connect mentally to a desire that's worse than anything else, then Hashem punishes. But other than that, no. As long as the person only planned on doing any other avera, which is not belief related, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu does not punish him, and as long as he didn't do it, then nothing happened. And we will finish here because that's where we finished this morning. This is a re-recording of this morning. So, Mir Hashem, we should all believe in HaKadosh Baruch Hu only, do the mitzvahs, and not the averas. Thank you very much to people on YouTube and people on Torah Anytime. I'm sorry for the delays recently. I think we're back on track. We're back on Zoom. Thank you, Hatzlacha, and have a great week, both of you.